All right, welcome to the Bartenders Anonymous podcast, episode 5. It is June 23rd. Motherfuckers! And I still don't know what I'm doing with my life. And I love it. Sometimes. Yeah, there's definitely some gray area in there. But we are plugging along and doing the best we can. Continuing with my walks. Trying to think if anything interesting has even happened since the last time I've been on here. I went to a kid's birthday party. That was a lot of fun. Had some crepe cake. I don't know if you ever had crepe cake before, but it was a cake made of crepes. And it was actually quite delectable. Yeah. Still no jobs. I don't need a job. And I'm slowly losing my mind. I thought I'd been off for like 2 months, and I checked the calendar, and it's only been like 3 weeks. So that is a good thing because I've only had to pay the mortgage one time, and I've got enough for 3 or 4 months. So in the meantime, I'm like, well, what the fuck am I doing with my time? And yeah, I ordered some headphones. I got some new Beats headphones. I've just always wanted a pair of those studio Beats headphones. So I ordered those, and they're all right. I think that you romanticize a lot of that shit. You know, the NFL players are warming up. They're wearing some Beats, getting psyched up. And, they're decent. They're all right. But when you listen to mainly podcasts nowadays, it's like you don't really need something over $100 to listen to somebody talk. The music on them actually does sound pretty good, but they this is kind of stupid, but they make my ears kind of hot pretty quick. And I think I've actually heard people say that before. That's like, I make my ears kind of fucking hot, which is kind of a dumb complaint, but they are pretty comfortable. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I needed a treat. I also got myself a gaming monitor because I've been spending probably about 50% of my time playing Call of Duty. And the monitor actually makes a big difference. But I learned this after getting the monitor, and it's advertised that it has like 200 hertz, like refresh rate or whatever. And I plugged it in with one of my old HDMI cables, and it just said 60 hertz. So somewhere in the past couple years, they've upgraded HDMI cables, and I didn't know that. So that's something I learned. That you buy one thing, and then you have to buy another thing. And yeah. This is some pretty boring stuff I got so far. I thought I had more going on than that, but I really don't. Now that I'm actually doing episode 5, I'm like, oh damn, I need to get some life experience because I haven't really done shit. What the fuck? I went and played some disc golf today with my buddy. That was good. And I thought we were gonna like hang out all day, but other people have lives, and they're like, yeah, I can come hang out for a couple hours. And I'm just like chilling, like, yeah, I got all day. I got that stupid podcast that nobody knows about. I got to do that, once a week. I get to do that. And that's giving me some form of structure. But other than that, it's like, well, what the fuck are you doing with your time, buddy? I've been doing some little mini workouts here and there. Dumbbells, squats. But then the girlfriend, then her weekend comes, and then we're just eating some bullshit, and then I'm kind of right back where I started. Not that it's her fault, it's my fault too, but whatever. This is pretty boring shit. I told my sister and John about the podcast. I don't know if they listened to it or not, but waiting to hear back from them. Need some feedback because I'm starting to get kind of redundant in this shit already. But when you've quit your job and then you got a DUI, so you can't like drive anywhere and like leave town, I'm kind of limited to what I can do. Like, I can go to the park, I can go to Walmart, and that's kind of all I got right now. I don't got shit. I need to start reading some books. But it's so boring. I haven't read one page since I've been off. It's been 3 weeks. Get stuck in that death scroll on the freaking. I don't watch TikToks. I deleted the TikTok, but I got those YouTube shorts. The other day I scrolled for like an hour and a half. Just fucking bullshit. People arguing about transgender crap and Joe Biden clips. That's kind of what my feed has turned into accidentally. I gotta watch the freaking videos I freaking like. And I don't even like most of them. I don't like anything. I just fucking scroll. I need to type in something productive, like how to fucking build a house, and then watch shorts on that. I'll fucking learn something. See, I'm going right back into the fuckings because I don't have anything to talk about. What a boring life so far. I do have some golf planned on Sunday. Gonna meet up with a couple of buddies and go hit some golf balls. But yeah, this retirement life has been... I mean, don't get me wrong. It is still nice to just have no timeline and just be able to float around and go, what do I want to do now? It's really just killing time until I'm hungry. You go, okay, go find some food. Go forage around. And then you do that. Walk the dogs. And then I'm right back where I started. And like even with the Call of Duty thing, I was like, oh well, I'll get this gaming monitor and then I'll be better at Call of Duty, and that would actually turned out to be totally true. My kill death kind of improved immediately, but then as you get better, then you just start playing better people and so on and so forth, and it's like, all right, well this is kind of stupid too. So I feel like I'm gonna get bored of Call of Duty here in like a week, which is fine because then I'm like, okay, yeah, mission accomplished. Got bored of Call of Duty. Move on to something else. I did take apart a chainsaw the other day. That was kind of interesting. It's like, it was broken already. And I thought to myself, well, let's take that thing apart and see what's going on. And it's just more broken now. And that's fine. I just wanted to tinker around with it and take it apart. And so I immediately like broke one of the switches on the choke. It's like, all right, well, let's see what this hose does. Unplug a hose and spilled freaking some unknown liquid because I don't know what's in a chainsaw all over my table out in the garage. And, you know, dicked around with that for a little while and then, all right, well, there's that. What the fuck are you going to do now? Hang out in my garage, throw some darts, think about what the heck I'm going to do now. Did some research on the 401k thing. And basically, it'll take a little less than half in taxes. So then I'll still have a chunk if I decide to do that, which I'm leaning towards it. Because who gives a shit? And then I'll eventually probably get a job somewhere. And I think I just got to get out of this damn town. This town is just so boring. I haven't noticed because I haven't really been in it that much because I was always at work. But then when you're like, okay, if I have infinity time and I live in this town, what am I going to do? And I think I need to move out of this town. I was talking to my buddy Pat about that today after we played some disc golf. I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to freaking sell this house and just get in my car and drive somewhere until I find a spot that I like. Because this place is fine, but as I'm just experiencing it without a job, it's like, well, this place is really for, like, just retired white people and freaking, I don't know, kids or people with kids that it's like, decent school, low crime rate, I think. But it's just so boring. It's like you can't go, there's no, like, local shows or anything, or I don't really know what I'm expecting a town to have, but I don't think it's here. But I've just lived here too long anyways, I think, and I need to start traveling and just experience something new. I have heard that from people, that it's like, what's the one thing you wish you did more? And travel is one of the number one things people say. A lot of, even just Oregon that that I haven't experienced. So, I don't know. I'll figure it out. I think I'm just in a bit of a rut right now. Just waiting for DUI lawyers to call me and figure out when I'm going to start taking my classes because I have to do that before I can do anything anyways. So that'll give me some structure once I get that started and try and knock it out. But in the meantime, I'm like, man, I'm fucking bored. Playing freaking Call of Duty, listening to podcasts, and I don't know. I got nothing right now. This podcast sucks. I need to go freaking get in a fist fight or something, or get a new job working at the retirement home. Talk to some old people, get some stories. I got freaking no stories right now. It's sad. Let's see. What do I got in my freaking... See if I got anything in my notes. Might have to go to the notes. I was looking into... There's a Chinese restaurant that's for sale. And it's the only place... Well, it's not the only place, but it's like one of the few places in town that has a stage. But they just have... It's just full of old chairs and stuff because they don't use it for anything. They collect like Oregon lottery money, and people will go in there and drink and play pool. And the fact that it's a Chinese restaurant is almost just like a front. Like I don't even know if anybody orders Chinese food in there anymore. But it's for sale or for lease. I need to go call the number and find out. Not that I like could afford it, but I was talking with my first for Father's Day, we all hung out. Like I wasn't gonna drink, but then they're all just getting hammered, and I'm like, well, I haven't talked to the fucking DUI lawyer yet, so pour me a shot. Let's get tatered, I guess, because there ain't shit else to do, and you guys are kind of annoying when you're drinking and I'm not. So had some shots, and my dad ended up because when Dad cooks and drinks, he doesn't eat because he's drinking and cooking for everybody else, and so then he's just fucking hammered all of a sudden, and he like pukes in the garbage can. Speaking of which, my stepmom actually got Chinese food, not from the Hong Kong, from some other Chinese place, because it's like the food my dad was cooking was not coming fast enough. She's like, well, we're all drunk, so we need to eat. So she goes and gets Chinese food, and so we all munch that. Dad pukes in the garbage can and goes and passes out. But I was talking to her about it, and it's funny because you have all these ideas and stuff, and then when somebody goes, well, what would you do with it? Talking about the Hong Kong place, like even if I did like manage to lease it out or something and like take it over and start a new bar or whatever. I don't even know what I would freaking do. But she's like, well, what would you do? And I'm like, well, I got all these ideas. Yeah. And I was just thinking how they have because they have that stage, and if you could actually fix it up and clean it up and advertise, like you could totally do like an open mic there. And I know people would want to do that if you actually advertised it. And I would host, of course. Of course, I would be the host. And, you can go up there and try your 5 minutes of what you think is comedy. And then if enough people show up, they'll either laugh or they won't. And then you'll find out if you can do comedy or not. Which has been one of the things I'd like to try. So, I don't know. That was kind of one of my ideas. But then as far as running a bar, I know how to run a bar, but I don't know how to run the back end of it, like all the numbers and stuff. So, but I kind of told her that idea, and she's like, well, I still got however much money she's got laying around to like invest. So it's like if I found out what the numbers were, if like to lease it or whatever, then that's why people get investors, because they're like, well, I don't have any money, but I have this good idea. Maybe you could help me get that going. So I don't know. It seems like a long shot, but it's crazier things have happened. But one of the things I was joking about, she's like, well, what would you call it? And I was like, the Kong Hong. So we could just switch the words on the building that say Hong Kong, just switch it to Kong Hong. And I don't know. I thought that was fucking hilarious, but maybe it was the Pendleton. But But yeah, I thought that would be freaking hilarious. The Kong Hong Comedy Club. It's got a good flow to it now, really, that I say it out loud. But I don't know. There'd be a lot to learn, and it'd be a lot of work, but it'd be fun. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how a lot of that stuff works, but I was laying in bed the other night, couldn't sleep, and I was thinking about it. And I was like, well, I could go down there and just talk to them, but they're also like Chinese, and I don't know how good they're. I mean, I know they speak English because I've been in there before and like drank beer and played pool. But for me to try and discuss to them some form of partnership where I could use their stage for an open mic night, like how much that would be lost in translation and if they would know what the hell I was talking about. But you never know. You know, they might be like, yes, yeah, I know what comedy is. Like, that's a great idea. But they also might be like, fuck you, trying to use our business. So I don't know. You don't know if you don't go try and talk to them, but it's an idea. Which that's kind of all I got right now is ideas. Not a lot of motion going on. And I don't know, been kind of unmotivated. Like, yeah, I've had some time off and been thinking about stuff and what I'm going to do. And it's really just been like survive mode, just exist and eat and take shits and drink coffee and freaking stuff nicotine pouches in my mouth and try and come up with some master plan, which, you know, theoretically, and it makes sense. There's all these things I could do, but what's going to be the thing that's going to fulfill me in my soul? You know, and then reality kind of starts setting in. It's like, well, maybe you're just a dumbass and you quit your job. But it had to be done. Fuck that job. It was just burning me out. So I'm definitely happier being unemployed than working at that place. But now I've got to figure out my next couple moves, get some shit going. I knew this was going to happen too, where I'm like, all right, couple weeks off, going to start getting antsy, going to start getting bored. But that's what I wanted to do, is kind of use up whatever time it takes me to just be bored with what I thought I wanted to do. And then you got to have a plan of action. Like, you got to figure out something to snap out of it and give yourself a new challenge, I guess. Because it's not challenging being unemployed for the first couple months if you've got a little bit of money saved up. So it's when the money starts running out that you're gonna have to be like, all right, well, what are you gonna do now? You gotta go into. That's what my buddy told me. He's like, you're gonna go into panic mode a little bit, and I haven't done that because I'm fine with money right now. But it's coming. You know, we're 3 weeks in, and I'm bored already. So gonna eventually start being like, okay, you gotta go. Like, figure out a business idea or get a job or something to start feeling productive. And, you know, doing this little podcast is fun. Just for my own, hear my own voice and be like, where are we at mentally? And just kind of like an audio log to myself at this point right now until I get some kind of content. I was kind of hoping to do a podcast with my buddy Pat today, but then he's got kids and he had to go pick up his wife and all that shit. So also I've found that it's harder than I thought to be like, oh, and I'm doing a podcast, by the way. Like, I don't know, it's not, I don't have enough going yet to not like brag about it, but just to like bring it into conversation. Like, what do you think about this? Or like open a dialogue about it. And that could just be me being like self-conscious or whatever, but I'm not really that self-conscious. I just don't want to like bug people with my stupid ideas. And that's where usually like, oh, let's have a couple beers, and then you get into the deeper conversation. Not to be using alcohol as a crutch again, but you know, it does help. Especially when you're talking about business ideas. Be stone cold sober and be like, hey, you want to spend $30,000 leasing this building, and I have no business expertise, and I got this really great idea, though. It might not sound that good right now, but here, drink these 3 beers, and it'll start sounding like a better idea. I don't know. So, now that I've said that out loud, I do think that is I need to just call that freaking number and just get how much it would be to lease the place, and then I can start doing some research on what it takes to run a bar. And if that's just totally not even feasible, then, maybe just go talk to the nice Chinese people and see if they'll let me just use their stage for some bullshit once a week. And, I don't know, bring some business in there for them or something. I don't know. Ooh, that was a good one. So we got some ideas. Sorry, this is like the most boring podcast I've done, but I haven't really done anything. I've just been laying around, listening to podcasts and eating sandwiches, and yeah, I don't know. But now that I know that if I do nothing, I have a boring podcast, maybe I'll start going and doing something. Go for a walk, go sit in a coffee shop, do some people watching or something. Because this is atrocious. I'm not even going to do another one. I'm just going to save this one and post it anyways, even though it's boring. Who gives a shit? Yeah, so on that note, that's still 20 minutes. Easy breezy. I don't really think I have anything else to talk about anyways. Get that HDMI cable hooked up and play Call of Duty until my brain is turned to mush, and then maybe I'll go for a walk and call to Hong Kong. Then this is another problem, though, because I'm technically not supposed to go into bars. And I think that goes for however many months, or I think it's just until I'm done with the classes. All right, so Monday I'm calling the lawyer, and I need to find out what the hell's going on, because I'm kind of in limbo right now, and it's quite mundane. Yeah. Yep, so hopefully next week I've got something. Maybe I'll wrestle a donkey or something, or I don't know. I need to go for a walk and just see if something interesting happens, but this town is kind of boring, so I'll try and make something happen, because this is not good content. But anyways, I love all you guys. Hope you're having a good week. Enjoying the summer. Making some moves, doing something. Get some time for yourself and do whatever stuff you like to do. And, yeah. Maybe we should just end this and listen back to how bad it is. I had a boring week, folks, is what I'm saying. But anyways, fuck off. The anonymous bartender, unemployed, dumbass. How long can we do this outro? How many people would not listen to the rest of this because it's so drawn out and ugh, just terrible. Turn it off.